Hello, friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. This is day 888 of our trek, and time for our Philosophy Friday series. Each Friday, we will ponder some of the basic truths and mysteries of life and how they can impact us in creating our living legacy. As we continue on this trek called life, sometimes we have questions about life. So on our Friday trek, it is a time where we can ask Gramps. Gramps will answer questions that you might like to ask your dad or granddad, but for whatever reason, this is not possible. No matter how old we are, I know that all of us would like the opportunity to ask Dad or Gramps questions about life in many areas. We will address areas such as finances, relationships, health and fitness, business and work, home repairs and renovations, seasons of life, and spiritual and biblical questions. As your fellow sojourner and mentor on this trek that we call life, it is Gramps' goal to provide you with practical wisdom and advice about any area of life. It is crucial that I receive a constant flow of questions, so please submit your questions to Guthrie at wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer your questions on our Friday podcast. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. This week we will continue with part 3 of the question from 2 weeks ago, which was, Hey Gramps, listening to most news sources and even many preachers, it seems like the world is getting worse each year. But is that really the case? So today we want to look at the state of the world and specifically communications and how that also impacts healthcare. Nearly everyone in the Western world, and even in many developing nations, own a smartphone or at least a mobile phone. One of the most prevalent areas where we have seen great advancements and improvements in the world is the area of communications. Many of us take it for granted now, but in 2017, we had 3.8 billion people connected on the Earth. That is nearly one-half the entire world's population, including children. In the next 5 years, we will see the deployment of the 5G global network that Qualcomm has been developing, which will enable many more types of connected devices. We are about to see Facebook and Google launch large amounts of balloons, drones, and satellites. One company, called OneWeb, has plans to deploy 900 satellites, leveraging a $1.2 billion SoftBank investment. In addition to that, 4,425 satellites are being launched by SpaceX. Within the next 5 to 10 years, it will provide connection capability to every human on the planet with gigabyte connection speed. This will be a gigabit connection for everyone, effectively for free. That connection represents a lifeline for health sciences. It is an ability to upload data and enable AI support. Imagine a doctor in the U.S. or other countries being able to perform advanced surgeries remotely in areas where healthcare is limited or even unavailable. Think about all the good that can be brought about by these advancements in communications and connectivity. Imagine how much easier it will be to reach the world to build God's kingdom through this proliferation to take its good news to every tribe and nation. This is truly great news. And it doesn't slow down from there. What is called the Internet of Things and the proliferation of sensors, by 2020 we will have 50 billion connected devices with 1 trillion sensors in the world. And by 2030 we will see 500 billion connected devices with 100 trillion sensors. Regarding health, every person will have the ability for real-time monitoring. Every single element of our lives, our glucose, our blood pressure, our microRNAs, and vitamin D levels, they'll all be able to be uploaded into an AI that can convey our exact health status. Think of it this way, we'll all have the version of Jarvis from Iron Man. These personal AIs can collect our data and enable us to be the CEO of our own health. The longer we live, the more impact we can have on the world for God. And this acceleration continues through genome sequencing. Back in 2000, the price of sequencing a human genome, all 3.2 billion letters of your life, cost $100 million and took 9 months to process. Today, it's only $1,000 per genome, and within 2 years, with some of the newest machines, it will cost $100 and be completed in about 1 hour. This will provide the gateway for proactive healthcare and health maintenance by preventing major diseases from even starting. This is the equivalent of a trillion-fold increase in price performance capability, which, in turn, is driving a revolution in cellular medicine, stem cells, natural killer cells, and all types of cancer cells. While some people may be fearful because of the potential abuses in these technology advancements, as with most fears, they are mostly in our mind and really not grounded in reality. To most of us, a sneeze isn't too scary today, but in centuries past it was full of deadly possibilities. In the Middle Ages, besides being a harbinger of the Black Death, a sneeze was thought to put you at risk for accidentally expelling your spirit. Hence it became a custom to say, "God bless you," to make sure that you kept your spirit within. We have the ability, with the access to these technologies, to say, "This is a problem I want to solve," and we'll be able to solve it. We often talk about our desires and our abilities. We are living in a time, a day, and age that within our lifetime, we will truly have the ability to meet the physical and spiritual needs of every man, woman, and child on the planet. At no time in history do we as individuals, or even the whole Church of Jesus Christ, have more of an opportunity to reach everyone in the world for building God's kingdom. Even this podcast which you're listening to reaches to thousands of people in dozens of countries throughout the world. This would not have been even remotely possible just a few years ago. Within the next few years, communications and connectivity will be available to every person in the world. Instead of being fearful of the real or potential problems in the world, let us move boldly forward so that we can impact the world for good and for God. Even as we face opposition and difficult times, let us take advantage of the truly good opportunities that we have in the world today. Let us move forward as the Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Ephesian believers in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 18 through 20. Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent in your prayers for all believers everywhere. And pray for me too. Ask God to give me the right words so that I can boldly explain God's mystery plan that the good news is for the Jews and Gentiles alike. I am in chains now, still preaching this message as God's ambassador, so pray that I'll keep speaking boldly for Him as I should. That's a wrap for our answer for today. Next week we will have a new question to ask Gramps. If you have a question that you would like answered, please email them to guthrie@wisdom-trek.com, and Gramps will answer them on our Friday podcast with wisdom and philosophy that Gramps has gained over the many years of experience and study. I know that you'll find these insights interesting, practical, and profitable in living a rich and satisfying life. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on the most important areas of life. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 887 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. I encourage you to subscribe to Apple Podcasts or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Monday.